G'day mates, Cake11 here and welcome to the 59th Grand Prix von Deutschland, German Grand Prix at the Hockenheimring, the old Hockenheimring, that was pre-2002. Now, bit of background, this is the one with the very long straightaway that went into the forest and had 3 really quick chicanes. Now, in 2002, because of the performance of the cars and also bad vantage points for television crews, they revamped the track, which is alright looking at the new track, but the biggest regret they did was ripping up the old track. So there was no way for us motorist purists out there to go out and try out the new track, which was disappointing, and partly it makes going to the memorial of legendary late driver Jim Clark at the Clark chicane, that's the first chicane, a bit more difficult to get to, but hey, it's history. Hindsight, it was a bogus decision. Anyway, back to this. In real life, Gerhard Berger comes back from his 3-race absence and goes on to win the race. He starts in pole and wins the race. However, it wasn't as easy of a win for him as he would have liked. He had Giancarlo Fisichella, who started second, up his keister towards the end of the race. Fisichella would bow out after suffering a puncture due to running over engine fragments from Jan Magnussen's blown engine. I hope I have more success than that in this race. It was second place Michael Schumacher and third place Mika Häkkinen for McLaren. This will be both Gerhard Berger and Benetton's last win. Quite poetic actually, because it was Berger that gave Benetton their first win back in '86. And it was also the only win for Benetton listed as an Italian manufacturer. Prior to, I think, about 95-96, they were listed as Brits. And now looking at our driver standings, we have Michael Schumacher in the lead on 57 points after he scored. He didn't win last race, but he still got second, which keeps his lead over Jacques Villeneuve, despite Jacques scoring 4 points in Britain. So his total is 12 points adrift of Schumacher, so still very much a contest between them. Following behind Villeneuve, we've got Eddie Irvine with 31 points, just 2 points ahead of Jean Alesi. Those two are having a really good battle at the moment. Behind Jean Alesi, Heinz-Harald Frentzen on 19 points, up 10 points after his win in Great Britain. So he is cleared away from Gerhard Berger a bit. However, because Berger's now back, we should see that gap decrease itself, depending on how this race goes. But following behind them, rounding out the top 10, we got Giancarlo Fisichella on 11. Olivier Panis and our driver, Kent Levin, both drawing on 7 points apiece. And a 3-way battle here in 10th place behind Rubens Barrichello, Ralf Schumacher, and Alexander Werts. And as we look at the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari have got a really good lead over Williams, I think about 24 points. Now this has been cut down considerably after Williams beat Ferrari in Britain. Good for a local team. But it still kept Benetton in the race, sort of, on 44, 20 points adrift. So the front 3 runners look quite well spaced out. Whether this be a good or bad sign, we've still got almost half a season to go, so anything can change. Outside this, we got Jordan on 15 points still. Stuart Ford on 11 points. Just ahead of Prost after scoring a point in Great Britain. Then Prost on 10 and McLaren still on 1 point. So with that past us, let's have a look at the starting grid for today's race. Okay, here's the starting grid. In first position, we have Jacques Villeneuve for 139.257, followed by Jean Alesi, his best qualifying position all season with a 139.343, followed by his teammate Berger, another good result, particularly his return from illness for the past few rounds, so a good result for him. Followed by him, we got Michael Schumacher, Frentzen and Irvine, all within a second of Villeneuve. And as we look now to lower down, Häkkinen, 11, Nakano and Hill, 11th to 14th, and 15th we got Johnny Herbert in the Sauber, then Deniz, Roberto Fontana, and then my teammate Rubens Barrichello in 18th. So not terribly bad for the Stewart team, 12th and 18th. But considering it is a very fast track, the top teams with the better engines will obviously go better. As I said before, Berger, Schumacher, Frentzen, and then Irvine. So 4th, 5th, 6th. Followed by David Coulthard in 7th place in a McLaren, followed by Ralph Schumacher's Jordan, and then the other Jordan in Giancarlo Fisichella in 10th place to Olivier Panis. So, looking at the times and how hard I went during qualifying, it didn't go too badly. And it looks like a fairly divided grid. You got the top drivers at front, then the middle pack teams, but then you got the slower teams of Tyrrell, Minardi, and etc. There. So let's get into this, shall we, and see how this very fast race goes.
Well, we're nearly ready for the start now. The drivers are on the grid. The red lights are beginning to come on.
And we're off! Germany, 1997. And there's no room for me to pass. Oh my goodness, look at the Prosts are really gone ahead. They just went past Hackenen's McLaren and one of the Jordans. However, only catching up again the slipstream. But I get all 5 at once.
Superb! Spectacular overtaking there.
Here we go, the Clark test. And I made a shambles of that because I was talking. But I managed to keep the position. 9th place. Went up 3 positions already. Good job, me. Now coming up the Oscar. And it looks like I'm catching up, slowly but surely. Bit wide there, but it didn't cost me too much time. I can still see the top runners in the distance. So, all good so far in this German Grand Prix. Now coming up to the Senna S, another Senna S in the international Formula 1 scene. There's many of them around the world. Surprised.
That's powerful acceleration there.
Not too bad there, although this field's getting slightly narrower. Looks like a Jordan's ahead of me, probably Ralf Schumacher. Yeah. Oh shoot!
He just hit Mika Häkkinen. Look at that.
Oh my... Yeah, I gotta really concentrate for that last sector, otherwise like that.
This
Häkkinen.
is lap 2 of the race.
Oh no!
That collision will probably have done major damage to both cars.
Sorry for the abrupt ending there, folks, but it's actually for good reason. As you just saw there, I had just T-boned Giancarlo Fisichella's Jordan after he spun out right in front of me at the Oz curve. Now, listening to Murray Walker's commentary, getting advice, etc., I have had decided to retire myself from the race, because if it was real circumstances, that will be out straight away. As such, actually, I finished the race. I actually continued the race regardless, and had a little bit battle with Fontana towards the end and got 13th, but as I just explained then, I'm not going to count that. That is a DNF. And now we have a look at the standings for today's race. Gerhard Berger wins the race by over 10 seconds, so matching continuity. Wow, this race is all about continuity. Following behind him in second place, we got Jana Lacey making a 1-2 for the Benetton team. Flavio Briatore must be reeling at this, because Benetton needs this break if they want to be proper World Championship contenders. Following behind them, we got Eddie Irvine and then Michael Schumacher. The Ferraris coming across the line roughly at the same time, but getting much needed points for the Scuderia as it hangs off its lead from Williams, which falters again. Jacques Villeneuve, the only scorer for Williams, in 5th place, a further 6 seconds behind Michael Schumacher and 22.9 seconds behind Berger. Rounding out the top 6, we got Ralf Schumacher, and although it says Kate Levin 13th place, I did not finish for reasons I just explained. Fastest lap, Gerhard Berger, 1:41.636. And now, as we have a look at the driver's standings, Michael Schumacher is still in the lead by 13 points, so there's still a bit of a margin between them. However, few changes lower down. Eddie Irvine and Jean Alesi are now drawing 3rd place with 35 points apiece. And the also big mover is Gerhard Berger bunny hopping Heinz-Harald Frentzen to regain 5th spot with 22 points after his win today. He is now 3 points ahead of Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who failed to score this race as well. Following behind them, we've got Giancarlo Fisichella not scoring any points because he crashed out with me. Followed by Olivier Panis and Kent Levin on 7 points each. And another big mover, Ralf Schumacher. He may have scored only 1 point, but it was enough to break the 3-way streak to hold for 10th place and kicking Rubens Barrichello and Alexander Wurz out of our top 10. So we've got some normality in our little table here. And in the Constructors' Championship, Ferrari have got a 29-point lead again after scoring 5 points more than Williams. So Williams has lost ground again, but that's the least of Williams' concerns because now got Benetton up their rear keister. After scoring maximum points for a manufacturer this round, Benetton are now at 60, so they're 6 points behind Williams. So if Benetton keeps up this good effort as we saw here today, we can see them overtake Williams to get second in the Constructors' Championship. Following on from this, Jordan Peugeot gets a point after Ralf Schumacher's single point, so that moves them up to 16. 5 points ahead of Stuart Ford, which is on 11. Then following them, we've got Prost, Mugen, Honda on 10. And then McLaren, Mercedes, still yet to score a point since Australia, still on 1 point. So all in all, I have nothing more to say but a disappointing race. It was a track that I had high hopes on because it's long straights. I can get out of the chicane very quickly. But I think I may have set the car up for too little downforce, and that affected me on the last sector. The mistake I hopefully won't do again, and hopefully I finish the next couple of races, because that's going to be my new target now. So with that, we'll see you next race at the Hockenheimring.